Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. I think I know why you're here, but my name is Nick. If you're watching these in some kind of order, I won't hold you up. So here we go, ZX Spectrum Games reviews on the channel, numbers 501 to 550. So let's get going. First up this time is a maze game called CABAL. Here I am going to the castle. It's quite cute, it's by Ocean. You have to go up a number of mazes in this turret, collecting keys and so forth and getting off the maze. The AI is not too bad on this, it's quite a cute game, and if I had it back in the day I would have played it quite a bit. I did play this one with a poke on as per usual to try and get a bit of distance through it. The maze colours do change as you expect when you go from level to level, it's pretty cool. COLORIS is a Tetris variant. If you played Columns on the Mega Drive, it's a bit like that. You can arrange 3 colours going down the screen there. You can't change it to horizontal or vertical. And every time you match up 3 colours in a row, they will disappear like that. And if the screen fills up with colours, as I am sure you've already guessed, it will... well, game over, that's what I'm trying to say. It's okay put together, it's not the most exciting game in the world, and it does move terribly slow. There are better ones out there, but not bad. If you're into helicopters, well, here's one for you. When I was playing it, it was on emulation and the helicopter tend to disappear and look like a bath tap, a bit like that. But essentially, you must rescue people and put them on platforms on this side of the place, although they do look like dinosaurs. Once you've done that, you will get to the next level, and there's a whole lot of different amenities. Here, we're being attacked by ducks, which is the natural enemy of all helicopters, as you know. You can bomb them, a bit like this. Choose your level wisely. I think you have to get it on the white one each time. Here is Revenge of the C5, sequel to another C5 game featuring Clive. You have to go up the screen avoiding all of the obstacles, choose your path, and if you hit into anything you will go back one single screen. It's okay, it's not the most exciting game in the world, and it has got annoying sounds on it. Also, there are 3 C5 games, and we'll come to the other one in a little bit. But not bad if you want a bit of retro fun with the classic Spectrum C5. Count Duckula from the kids' cartoon. It moves quite well this, but it's very, very monochrome. I prefer this version to the Amiga version. Good detailed graphics, but you know, it's crying out for a bit of colour. They can get away with it because it's like the vampire theme. But it's a bit boring because of the lack of sounds, really. You're in a pyramid and you must find the mystic saxophone, and that's pretty much about it. Not bad, not bad. We'll see how it compares to the sequel a little bit later on in this run. Submariner looks like it's an ultimate game, but it's not. It's been put together by a 3D construction kit. You're supposed to be underwater, you're swimming, but you can hear footsteps. It does feel like it's been put together with a 3D construction kit, and the reason behind that is it has. I think it's lacking a few things, but it's quite clever in what the Spectrum's doing. It's just not extremely exciting. There's not much to stand it out. When you compare it to games deliberately made for this, like Head Over Heels and the classic Night Law, it falls miles behind, but it's not bad in its own right. It suffers from quite a bit of slowdown though. SUPERKID, this game's a classic. I didn't own it back in the day. You can fly all around the place and attack people. You have to, well, not really attack people. You have to rescue people on these roofs, I believe, and also rescue pensioners on their way back from the library. Yes, I know. I don't know what's going on here. There's hoodlums all about the town, and you must rescue them all. You can change the colours to monochrome if you want, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. There's quite a good bit of fun on this. Nice programming. I do like the idea of him flying everywhere. So Fred, this is good. It's the sequel to Fred, which worked quite a little bit different. The frames of animation of this one make it a really, really cool addition if you're into retro gaming. He can go swimming in it and all sorts of stuff, so it's like an early Tomb Raider maybe. Let's really exaggerate it. Here I am climbing up a vine, if I can do. There's lots to kill you, and it's puzzle based each screen. You're not going to complete this all in one go. Fred was a good game, Sir Fred is even better, but as I say, it's the attention to detail that make this one really, really good. And talking about really, really good games, here's Count Duckula 2, which is the complete opposite. Count Duckula 1 was actually luxury compared to this. What's going on here? It looks very, very basic. It's very clunky to control, and it's got the finesse of a dead pigeon. Don't play this one. Count Duckula okay, Count Duckula 2 absolutely terrible. The animation of that Red Indian's not too bad going down there, but you know, the cartoon was fantastic. First game was okay, second game built off none of that, and they've gone for this level jumping thing. The third game in the Sir Clive Sinclair C5 games. It's Clive in Exile, and it's more like the first one really. You're in a C5, avoid all the obstacles, go from left to right. I think you have to go through the Channel Tunnel eventually and get to Spain somewhere. Yeah. It's not bad. If you like the first one, you like this one. So this is horizontal. The first one's horizontal. The second one was vertical, which we saw a bit early on. I'm sure you remember, or do you have a bad memory? Right, off to the Channel Tunnel in our green C5. The sequel to SUPERKID, this time he's in space. Absolutely gorgeous graphics on this one, but he seems to have lost his ability to fly. We're versus aliens. I think we've got to find certain hostages, I can't remember, and bomb. But just look at this thing. The colour palette is absolutely gorgeous. If you like the first game, you'd love this one. It works slightly different, but it's good anyway. He can't fly, he's just got to go up these poles, really. Shoot all these emplacements left by the robots or aliens to get to the next stage. Really good looking game. FIREBIRDS, heavily influenced by games like Phoenix from the arcades. As soon as we shoot all these, I think eventually we get a mothership at the end. Here it comes, I think. Here it comes, and this is probably the best mothership I've seen in any ZX Spectrum game ever. Here it comes. It's worth playing the game just for this. Look at this thing. This is the highlight of the whole review, I think. Look at that thing. Absolutely awesome. MOLAR, if you're feeling down the mouth, here we go. No, it's not Battle of the Toothpaste Tubes. It's MOLAR, where you've got this toothbrush the size of a safety pin, and you must stop all your teeth from going rotten by brushing them like this. As soon as they go yellow, then they'll go blue, then they'll go black. If you lose all your teeth, it's game over. And your mouth is filled with bacteria. Look at the amount of teeth this bloke's got. He's got about 4 front teeth and four, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's a horse or something. But yes, stop the decay. Bazooka Bill, this game is okay, but it's very hard to progress anywhere because you need to go. It's on 2 like floors, like bottom floor and top floor each screen, and you're going around in circles unless you know which floor to go through. I think most kids would have walked around lost. Your Bazooka Bill, you've got a bazooka, although there's a choice of other weapons like knife and gun, but very easy to not know what you're doing. I think a lot of people might have been stuck on this, but animate's okay, but it's just not a great overall experience. Not bad. Serious, heavily influenced, I think, by a game called EXILE, which is a classic in the ZX Spectrum archives. Going from left to right, controlling this robot. You've got teleports to go from top to bottom there. You must go around all the obstacles, shoot stuff, solve puzzles, and then destroy an, well, I think it's either an ender level boss or you need a password at the end. As a kid, I would have played this quite a lot. It's very similarly graphically to SUPERKID in space. Attention to detail is awesome, and these games were a pleasure to play. Gift from the Gods, it looks like a game that's not quite finished. Indeed, you do control a massive sprite, but the play area is huge, but there's not much in each screen. So most of the time, I mean, what's the point of this room? I mean, most of the time you'd be flying around not doing much at all. They could have condensed it maybe a little bit more and put the enemy you know, more compact. It does reward you in the end, but it just takes hours to get there. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. And there's bits of the game a little bit flawed as well. You can get prone to getting stuck. Here's Serious 2, or called Inter Alia. They've again ditched the idea of the first game, Serious, which is the Exilon take on, which I thought was good. They've taken this ship that looks like something out of Xenon, and I don't think this has worked quite well. They should have just expanded on the first game, but maybe they wanted something different, or maybe they just... It was called Inter Alia first, and they just chucked Serious 2 on to make it sell more copies. But it moves okay, graphically it's okay again, but I don't overly like it. Let's go skiing with Eddie Edwards Super Ski. I've reviewed this on the Commodore Amiga as well, and the most impressive thing about this on the Spectrum is the speed it moves. And look at the background, you can see like mountains there. It's going up and down, got great undulation. Overall, the game's not bad. You do different events, including ski jumps, slalom, and various other bits and pieces, and it's not bad. As skiing games go, I prefer the more basic Horace Go skiing, but this one is great. The speed of it, as I say, is awesome and well worth tracking down. Metal Army, it's another one of those exploration games where you got loads of rooms and never really completed it. Collect key cards, shoot various bits and pieces. Here we go through there. The animate's quite good. What's really good on this is the level of enemies. I was playing it with a poke on again. Yes, I do like a bit of cheaty work to show what the game looks like. But, you know, a lot of people might not have heard this back in the day, but it's up there as a quality game. Pretty tricky, though, like all of them were. CHRONOS, a Tapestry of Time. Now, I really like this shooter. It's monochrome, but the colours do change from level to level. It's a lot easier than most shooters, so, you know, many of the shooters back day in the Spectrum era were unforgivable, like you died really quickly, but this one is very inviting. You do get the sense as a kid that you could have completed it, so you would have gone back quite a few times. CHRONOS, a Tapestry of Time. Yeah, good, well animated, nice sounds, and a really nice feel to it, this. Really pleasing. Chopper X1, quite a basic chopper game from the early 80s, not animated particularly well. It goes on forever, but you must drop bombs on various bits to get to the next stage. That flashing you saw is me using my smart bomb. Comets sometimes go down. It's a very jerky affair, but it's classic early Spectrum gaming. Survive as long as you possibly can. All you can do is go up and down around this stuff and bomb those squares at the right time. It always ends in death. Deviants, another cool platform game, reminds me a lot of the first Dan Dare game. Animation is really good. You see there's no colour clash, which is clever. The character runs behind the others like foreground and scenery. You can do cool forward rolls. And you know, looking at all the platform games really, when you look at a matter of coding, this is absolutely great. Moves down the stairs, cool. There's no glitching at all. All the enemies are like green, they're moving quite fast. See all the stuff on screen, that's moving as well. And no colour clash at all, which is an amazing achievement. Alien Swarm, another quite basic game. You just must avoid everything coming down at you for a certain space of time in this Starship Enterprise looking sort of like ship, and then it'll go on to the next stage eventually. It's a swarm and it is aliens. The Spectrum is awash with these sort of games. You've got to shoot a certain number, and each wave the screen does change colours. There we go, so it's yellow on blue, so that would have been interesting. As a kid, it's always nice seeing the screen changing colours, making you think you get somewhere. Crack Up, this is a breakout clone from the arcades. My favourite game like this has to be that game that I can't remember. What's it called? Oh god. Anyway, Through the Wall was good on the Horizons tape. That was good. I like that one. So yep, there's quite a few of these. Crack Out is another one there, but Crack Up is not too bad. There we go. I've got a power up there. Boom. With a nice square ball. Nice colours. It does what it says on the tin, really. Arcadia, this is like an all shooting, all firing classic shoot 'em up game. You can go backward and forward, left and right. Bit of colour clash on the ship as it glows green and red, let's forgive that. You avoid one wave of aliens by just driving around them most of the time, and the next lot will come soon after. You know, it's pretty, it's not convenient on the eye, and it clashes badly with the border each time, but we'll forget that. There are better examples of shooters were to come. Nice explosion there. Now this is a really cool game. It's a homebrew, a BUZZSAW, a FOXTON Locks mix. Excellent stuff. Basically, you have to arrange these ghosts so when a saw comes down, it will kill all of them. Yes, I know, it's quite cruel, isn't it, this one? But anyway, there comes the saw. Let's arrange it to kill as many things as we can. Buzz. One of those games where you get more skills as you play it. Graphically, it's absolutely awesome. They've done really well with the coding here by getting two colours into a block of sprites, which isn't the easiest thing to do. This one is called Hyperactive. I think it only came out on a cover disc, but this is what Spectrum games should be like, really. You know, a bit like a Lunar Jetman or Jetpack with nice scrolling scenery. You've got a scanner down the bottom there, destroy everything and collect batteries and various other things. And that's pretty much it, really. Once you've destroyed everything on the screen, there is varied aliens that come to the next level, but I think there's only about 3 stages in essence. So it's a bit like a demo game, this, rather than a full game. MANIC Miner the Hobbit, this is another mod, but it's a good mod. Occasionally we come to these mods of MANIC Miner. The screens are well thought out, and each level is a different chapter of the game The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I did a few stages on this, so check out this review. It's got a nice feeling to it. They've done Lord of the Rings as well, which I haven't reviewed yet, so we might come to that at some point. Really nice to see, and a bit of interest different from the normal levels. Go, Willie! Ninja Hamster. Who thought of this? Well, anyway, you play a hamster and you must fight various other creatures, including a mouse and a monkey. It looks good graphically, but it doesn't really work as a game because it's just way too slow. But kids may have liked it due to the animal theme to it. I wasn't overly impressed. It takes too long to fight each character. You need to knock them down 2 or 3 times. I just think the whole thing's too slow, and the tape loading is slow as well. Cop Out. Now this game is cool. You control this bloke down the bottom there, running left and right. There's crosshairs, and we must shoot everything that comes at us without getting killed ourselves. So look, there's a bird there, but mainly we need to shoot these enemies that pop up behind gates and windows. And I've just been shot in a delicate area. Oh dear. Yeah, track this one down, Cop Out. It's one of the best ones. It's a cool game, lots of colours, not too much colour clash, so I'm a big fan of that. Fire and Forget, probably best to forget this one. It's moving quite quick, there's a bit of undulation there, but you control this car in the future, and you must shoot everything. The problem with this game is because it moves so fast, you can't see stuff on the road as much, so it's quite easy to crash into a bomb. This game wasn't particularly good on the Spectrum or the Commodore Amiga either. It was a bit of a missed opportunity, really. Anyway, Fire and Forget. Are you going to forget it yet? Maybe in a few seconds you might do. Yes. This one is a really good game. You control this character in Frankenstein. On each level you must collect all the body parts, as you can see, and assemble him on the top right there. So you've got his head and a bit of the body. As soon as you collect them in the right order, they will automatically appear in the right hand side without dying, of course. As soon as you've done that, it will zip to the next level. Really well thought out, a really unique game, so it gets points for invention straight away. You really have to find the best way to do each stage, or you won't be going anywhere at all. This one's called Invasion Force, again influenced by the arcade game Phoenix. A good end-of-level mothership, but not as good as the one in FIREBIRDS. It looks like a yellow submarine, and it looks very, well, it's supposed to be 8-bit, but it even looks 4-bit, and 4-bit isn't even a thing. So you must destroy that hole in the bottom there, destroy it to hit the flashing thing in the middle. It plays okay, but as I say, I prefer FIREBIRDS, and I prefer Phoenix as well, which is on another batch of 50 roundup there. Kadooma, is that a word? This one's called Transversion. Feels a bit like a BBC micro game, but anyway, you control this arrow round a grid, and you must collect all these blue squares without being hit by any of those yellow monsters shooting you from various sides. So just avoid everything, don't stay in the same line for too long. As soon as all the cyan blobs are gone, it's on to the next stage, and they're various colours and such. I really like this game. It's quite novel, a classic 8-bit style of game. Track this one down, it's called Transversion. But don't stay in the same line too long. Super Stuntman, this game was a little bit flawed. I wanted to like it a bit more, but the car slides around too quickly. Now you might get a bit used to it once you get used to controls. They've gone for different colours in the cars and the red things that you're not supposed to bump into, so fine there. Other coders didn't bother, they made it all the same colour, so points for that. And there's not too much colour clash, which is also good, but overall the car spins too quickly and I didn't really get on with it a great deal, but you might do. CABAL, yep, another one a bit like Cop Out. Again, we're down the bottom of the screen with this arrow shooting people. I preferred it to Cop Out, although it's a little bit more clunky. You can destroy buildings and destroy all the soldiers, and once you've done so, of course, you know what, you go to the next screen. It is great fun there. It's good on the Amiga as well. On the Spectrum, it is pretty cool. And once he shoots everyone, he does a little dance. Hooray! Good old little dance, like proper army men. Go, shoot, blast. Now, MUGSY is a text adventure, which we haven't really reviewed too many of those because it's hard to get into an entertaining review. But you play a mobster in the 1920s or maybe before, and you must run the mob doing shady deals, making money, transporting guns all over the place, and very other hideous stuff. It's cyclic, it's a bit like a spreadsheet of numbers that go behind the thing telling you how you're doing, and mobsters shoot at you a bit like this. But hey, don't flinch because it's a bulletproof window. Hooray! Moonlight Madness, if you like the game Booty, which is a lot more famous than that, this one works on a similar engine. A little bit of clash as you're walking left and right, and I don't like it as much as Booty, but essentially it's the same. Collect keys, go through doors, and collect items. That's pretty much it, really. It's quite tough again, but as I say, it's a good sequel to Booty, and I don't think many people would have heard of this one. Moonlight Madness. You're not on a boat, but you might as well be, because it plays exactly the same. Good stuff. Hope you're seeing some games you like here. Mugsy's Revenge, it's a sequel to Mugsy. If you like the first one, you'll probably like this because it works in a similar way. Although I preferred the first one, this one is slightly slower. It's back in Prohibition times where alcohol was illegal, and you make money by making moonshine, making beer, and transporting it all around the town, doing kickback to cops and all that sort of stuff. So it's knowing what numbers to type in, what to invest, and what goons to hire. And that's pretty much it to running a boss. There wasn't a third game here, so it's just Mugsy and Mugsy's Revenge. Into the Eagle's Nest, very much like Gauntlet, except this time it's set with like a World War II, I think, theme. It's you against Nazi Germany, collect keys, go through doors and kill everyone. So, but this time instead of killing ghosts and zombies, you're killing enemy soldiers. Nazis! Hooray! Into the Eagle's Nest. Different stages there, but I never done it. The enemy aren't particularly clever, they just home onto you directly, almost as if they were zombies. It's Gauntlet with a different theme to it. BMX Racers, a very basic game, I didn't like this very much, but it's good that you can run over this old granny that throws stuff at you. It's a long road through the park that goes on forever and ever and ever. You have to avoid traffic, go up ramps, and that is it. It's pretty boring, there's the granny there. Let's go past her, avoid the oil, and yeah. That's big. You're going to get bored of this one quite quickly. I think it's really took the mickey out of BMX Racers, who probably would have bought this, but it's nothing to do with BMX, is it? It could be any bike you want. Now, Extreme, this was made, I think, as a sort of like demo. They've really gone to town with the graphics and the way things are fire. This is probably one of the best graphical games I've ever seen. It's super, super tricky. I don't know how they've done this on a ZX Spectrum, but, you know, lots of stuff's going on. The borders flashing, you've got multiple graphics in the sprites. Look at that stuff I'm firing there. You don't get that every day on every Spectrum game, so well worth tracking this down. It's extreme, and it certainly is. The Hobbit, another classic text typing game. This will be the one that most people are familiar with by the book from J.R.R. Tolkien, so he's come in twice here, once in this and once in that MANIC Minor mod. I never completed this one, but you know what to type in. Left, right, go on your adventures with Gandalf and Thorin and defeat Smaug, I think, and get all the gold. Excellent. It draws quite slowly, but it's got a certain charm all of its own. I think it might have been redone quite recently, this one, as a modern remake. Savage, another awesome game graphically that I didn't know back in the time. Moves really well, this. It's a fantasy story. It's over 3 sort of like very distinct stages. One here is throwing axes, another one where you're actually a bird, and then there's a 3D stage where you're sort of like flying something, going around various stones and stuff. But by far the best stage is this first one. This is where all the action is. Definitely track down Savage. Indeed, it is super savage. Kaboomer. Spooky Castle, this one's very disappointing. It looks good graphically, but the energy you lose is just too savage, for a pun on the last game, and, you know, it just makes it too difficult. As soon as you die, you, that's it really. That ghost, if you hit the ghost once, you lose all your lives straight away, and it's a very, very poor show. It's not very inviting as a kid due to that difficulty level, and I don't think people would have gone back to it many times, but, you know, like any of these reviews, if you want to see a bit more, check out the full review. DRACONUS, another well-accomplished platform game. We've covered quite a few good platform games in this section. A huge, huge sprite. You control this lizard in this strange fantasy land, and you must collect different objects, I think, to, well, for your own freedom. Different areas to go in. I think the map randoms up ever so slightly every now and again. It's a little bit monochrome, but works okay for the genre. And as I say, the main thing of this is it just moves so well. Lots moving on the screen also, which is a good thing to see. Here we go, it's a Ghosts and Goblins variant, but a pretty good one called Heartbroken. As you see that flying demon, it looks very much like something from Ghosts and Goblins. But fire stuff, avoid trolls, and I think you have to rescue a princess or something like that. Status down the bottom. I really enjoyed playing this one. You know, if I didn't have Ghosts and Goblins back in the day, this would have been good. You could be mistaken for thinking this is a sequel because the quality is still there. Occasionally this like ghoul turns up a bit like Emperor Palpatine. Captain Kelly, interesting this, but I didn't like it. It moves a bit too slow. You're in a space station controlled completely by robots, and you must go around and shooting them all and collecting key cards to get to different areas of the ship and rescuing it. They've taken over the ship and are driving it off course, and yeah, you got to save the day. Each level is a different colour, which would keep a kid entertained on the ZX Spectrum. That is the best thing it ever did. But yeah, move on, there's better games available. Desert Hawk, an interesting little game. You control this helicopter, a small bit of inertia there, but you must avoid all the gun emplacements and this huge cactus, which is about, I don't know, 100 metres tall, and pick up 3 little green men and then take them back to base. If you just pick up too many green men, your ship will explode, and if you run out of time, again explode. All the time the ship is overheating. If it does overheat, you have to land. Come aboard, little green man. Is he going to come aboard? Yes, that's good. Excellent. Take off. And the last game we reviewed in this batch of 50 is Feud, a game that works much better on the ZX Spectrum than it does on the Commodore Amiga. You are a wizard, you must collect different spells so you can kill your other fellow wizard. Here I am getting my butt kicked by him. Boo! Good graphics, and you know, when your enemy takes a hit, or when you take a hit, you see those two cyan characters there, they will gradually sink into the ground. A nice, gorgeous game, 8 directions. I really recommend this, really atmospheric. Good stuff. Well, I hope you liked having a look at them. I really enjoyed them. They do take a while to do these videos. So yeah, that was Spectrum Games 501 to 550. If you want to see any of the games more in full, then of course check down the reviews in the ZX Spectrum playlist. I'd love to see you there. And don't forget to comment on them. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.